Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to take our number guessing application a little bit further. And like I said last time, I've entered the number 4, and you could keep guessing it, and every single time, you'll eventually get it right, but you don't have any indication that you get it right. And you don't have to enter a new number every time, so you could just keep hitting enter until you get it right. There's all sorts of problems with this app, but it's a good foundation for what we want to do. So we have our text area, we have our number. Just like we had done before with our text view, we're going to have our new text. So we had done this before. I'm just going to type final this time, so it doesn't have to tell me to do it later. And text view, and then this is going to be guess text, and it's going to equal text view. And if you can guess, it's going to mimic this one. So as you've probably seen, find view by ID. And if you remember, we're finding a view on our page by its ID. And we're going to do period dot ID dot, and this is text view 2. We could have given it a different name in our interface, so it would have been a little bit more easy to find here. But in this particular instance, this is not a totally complex app, so we're not going to worry about it. So I'm going to pick text view 2, and that's now equal to this guess text variable. Oops, okay, finish this off with a semicolon, and we now have that. We also need our edit text. So for this edit text, just like we had a text view, we have edit text. Just like we had a text view before, so now we're going to name this, and we're just going to name this user guess. And user guess is going to be equal to, inside of parentheses, edit text. So an edit text is just similar to text view, it's just a text box that they can edit, and we're going to enter, or space, find view by ID, and in here our dot ID dot, and we should find our edit text number 1, which is the only one we created. Like I said, we will want to be creating better IDs for these in the future, but we just have one edit text, so it's obvious which one it is. And we're going to finish this off with a semicolon. And you may be seeing this red underline. It's because we haven't imported edit text yet as a data type, so let's import it. And that red line goes away. So we now have user guess and guess text in our code here, and they're now accessible. So, as you can imagine, when we click this button, we want to get the value that is user guess, and we want to check it to see if it's the same as our random number. So when this is clicked, on the click, we're going to set our string random text to equal a blank string. We're going to run a random generator. We're going to get our next random number, and this is where we're going to want to do something funny. And before we assign that to a random text, we need to compare it to the user's guess. So let's hit enter here. And we're going to be using a conditional statement, and this is going to be an if statement. So this is going to be a really basic if statement. So we're going to say if, and then inside of parentheses, we're going to say user guess is equal to rando. So we're checking here to see if user guess is equal to rando. So you may be seeing this underline, and you may be wondering why it's not allowing us to compare these two. We did enter a number. Well, this user guess is of the type edit text. So it's not of the type integer, so we can't actually compare it to rando. So one thing we can do is create a new integer. We can call this int user number is equal to, and if you remember, we have done this before where we turned our random number into a string. We're also going to be using the integer object, integer dot, instead of toString, we're going to type parse int. And so this is going to get an integer from, and then inside of here, we need to do a couple things. We'll take user guess, we'll cut this out of here, we'll paste it in here. We want user guess, but more importantly, we want to get text from user from user guess, and then after we get the text, we want to go to string. So this is underlining this and telling me that it needs to be final. I knew we would get that error, but no big deal. Like I said, we'll go over how to fix that later. And so we now have, and we need to finish this off with a semicolon. Okay, that makes all the red go away. So we now have an integer user number that we got out of user guess, that we got the text from, turned it to a string, and then parsed it as an integer. So we can now compare user number and to see if it's equal to rando. And then we're going to go ahead here and put some brackets. So these squiggly brackets in here, if the user number is equal to rando, what we want to do on our main activity is we want to say this enter number, we want to change this text. So let's come back here to our Java, and we remember that this is called the guess text. So just like we set the text on our random number before, we're going to say guess text, and guess text going to be dot set text, and we can set the text to something. Well, if your number is equal to rando, we want this to say you got it right. And we're going to be really excited about that, and then we're going to put a semicolon here. And after this squiggly bracket, we want to let them know if they didn't get it right, that they didn't get it right. So we'll do else, then a set of squiggly brackets, and we're going to set guess text set text, and we're going to say this not quite, guess again. And we're also really excited about that. We're going to finish that off with a semicolon. So now it's going to say if user number is equal to rando, set the guess text to you got it right. Otherwise, it's going to say not quite, guess again. Cool. So let's, we're still going to set this stuff here because we still want to see the number. Right now, we just want to make sure to see if it was right. But later, we can take this out. That way, you won't be privy to that guess. But let's run the app and see exactly what happens now. Okay, so let's go ahead here and let's enter 3. And done. And now let's click press me. First time, I got it right. If we press me again, not quite, guess again. Guess again, guess again. Did I write quests again? I did. Not quite, quests again. I'll have to fix that. But pretty cool. It looks like we got this working. Now if I keep getting, you'll see whenever they're the same, you got it right. We now have a guess this number game. It's your first game. It's your first crazy interactive Android app. You're entering user input and you're checking against something. Pretty cool. And there's still a little bit more to do in this though. Like when we press me, you don't want to be able to keep guessing the same number over and over again. You want your user to guess a different number every single time. Also, we have that bug with the quite quest again. So in the next lesson, we're going to show you how to fix that, and we're going to spruce this up a little bit. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions, please let us know in the video or hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you're thinking. Thanks for watching. Bye.